20 upcoming games. In today's video, I'm going to show you the list of some titles that are going to be released in the nearest future. The list consists of many different genres, from Souls-like to simulators and first-person shooters. All of those games are worth keeping track of. For sure, you'll find some perfectly fitting for your player type, so stay tuned and let's get right into it. The first one is a really horrific experience, Scorn. I really wonder what kind of mind you must have to create such a spine-chilling game. It's absolutely horrifying, terrifying, everything at the same time. It is basically familiar with H.R. Giger's work, who has been a big inspiration to the authors, App Software, working on Microsoft's behalf. It is a first-person shooter survival game set in a biopunk world straight out of a horror. According to the devs, there are multiple locations on the map connected to each other like a labyrinth, with special characters in each segment unique in their own way, and also puzzles requiring some thought process, and all of it is creating a consistent world. Our journey, of course, is filled with obstacles. The main ones, the monsters, absolutely terrifying creatures. The initial release date is estimated around October 2022. Thymesia is a Souls-like RPG game where we play as some weird-ass plague doctor called Corvus that uses some weapons built on some kind of plague thriving in his kingdom, cursed by alchemy and its uncontrolled effects. At this point, basically, Souls-like shall be just a complete new genre type games because there's tons of those. Basically, if you like Elden Ring, you will find your place in Thymesia with ease. The combat is looking solid, the whole world atmosphere is set in the dark fantasy times. The release date hasn't been unveiled yet, but surely it will come someday in 2022, so no worries. Staying in the Dark Souls vibes, we have Lies of P. Almost everybody heard about our wooden friend Pinocchio and his story. At some point in your life you probably read this fairy tale or watched a movie, because there's just tons of adaptations and stuff like that. Now just imagine this world but in a nightmarish, filled with eerie monsters, bosses, dark atmosphere, somber place. And our mission as Pinocchio is to find Mr. Geppetto in the bloodlust city of Krat. And that's basically Lies of P, a Souls-like game, an absolutely new look at this famous fairy tale. For this gem we'll need to wait until late 2022 or even 2023. Alright, bouncing back from this all dark energy and stuff, we have Kerbal Space Program 2. And well, those little green wormins planning to adventure to space and beyond. The first installment of Kerbal Space Program was warmly greeted by players, and in 2022, it's coming back with an even greater version of exploring the cosmos. Nostalgia hits with this title, oh man, it hits as hell. For those unfamiliar with this title, it's a spaceflight simulator where we can build our own space rockets, reach new planets, explore them, basically feel the glimpse of being Elon Musk. Even to this day, the OG game is still relevant. Highly recommend to try it out. Highly recommended. Dragon Age 4, an absolute icing on the cake for fans of Dragon Age franchise. Dragon Age Origins were simply the best out of all we had, but BioWare wants to please us with another title, which is anticipated to surpass any expectations. Big hopes burden on this game, as nobody wants the repeat with Dragon Age 2, which was completely a failure. The single-player RPG with an open world is on track to be out someday in 2023, as sadly it has been delayed. Little devil inside, a bit cartoonish vibe breaking through a game. It combines roleplay and survival games together, creating a steampunk world straight from the 18th century. The vast world features rather easy mechanics of survival, letting players explore whole from a third-person camera. According to the devs, there are multiple biomes, each with unique conditions, and the key to survival is the knowledge of how to behave in all of them, which can be obtained in very different ways during our gameplay. That means it really emphasizes on information and actually knowing what you are doing. Of course, this game is to be launched in 2022. Hogwarts Legacy. Harry Potter's universe is large and wide, and now Josh Rowling's imagination will be featured in a solid game from this franchise. The expectations are high as there are many fans of our young wizard, and a failure will be a stain on this renowned world. Hogwarts' legacy attempts to leave a great mark, and hopefully it will. It ain't a direct adaptation of the books, but it will remain true to the wizarding world, but with its own story. Players will be able to make their own character, choose their favorite academy, or even travel on a broom. This roleplay game is to be released in holiday 2022. Starfield is Bethesda's other attempt to create a new world right next to Fallout and Skyrim universe. Actually, we have very little info on this game, such as gameplay or story or anything like that, but presumably it will be similar to other games from the studio, for example, well-known switchable third and first-person camera interactive world, this time set in space with a lot of RPG mechanics. Todd Howard related to it as a Skyrim but in a space. Bethesda, after Fallout 76 had failed, bounced back from multiplayer and focused on the single-player experience in Starfield. We shall see if it will restore those developers' reputations. Starfield's confirmed release date is 11th of November 2022. Staying in our Skyrim's climate, Obsidian Entertainment attempts to beat the Elder Scrolls with their own project, Avowed. There is not so much to say about this game, it basically looks similar to Skyrim, but as the Obsidian stated, it's not really Skyrim, it's something different, it's something new, but basically pretty similar. And the aim is to release it near the end of 2022 or early 2023. If it ain't gonna be a Bloodfire show, it will be a competition for the Elder Scrolls 6. The next one is State of Decay 3, which is a survival game set in an apocalyptic world possessed by zombies. This Xbox Studios exclusive game for Microsoft featured not only surviving but also building your own community and providing it well-being. The release date has been a mystery since the reveal of the first sequel, but it is expected to launch in 2023. This game includes kinda unexplored aspects of zombies, which are zombified animals. Yet there are very few details on this project, we know pretty much nothing. But it's easy to assume that the mechanics from the latest games will be in here and won't be anything crazy about it, probably more enhanced and improved. After the great success of the first game, Hellblade 2 is a highly anticipated project from Ninja's Fury hands. This exclusive game for Xbox Series and PC is set in a mysterious dark Triple Age, hinting us at pagan, probably Vikings era. It's a highly detailed game in terms of graphic design, but also the audio, and shit, the gameplay trailer is not peace. The whole thing looks gorgeous, the concept is marvelous, and probably this will be even better project at the end of its development. And well, the development process will end in 2023, which is the estimated year for the release. The day before, and this game is a mix of The Last of Us and Tom Clancy's The Division. That's because of the world, which is a post-pandemic America flooded with infected but also survivors willing to kill anyone alive, and the gameplay, which is similar to the one from the Ubisoft game. It includes campaign for players wanting it in solo mode but also cooperation. Honestly, this game is very controversial because there's many things that are straight plagiarism out of The Last of Us, for example. It's really weird that the developers haven't shared any information since December, I guess, 2021, because this MMO open world is coming in 21st of June 2022. Until Dawn was an amazing game, it was just a hit at the time it was released, and now Supermassive Games are on another top-notch production, The Quarry. The popularity of projects highly based on players' decisions has increased lately, and the leading studio wants to show how it's done, and as it seems is no joke. This thrilling cinematic tale is centered around a group of teens staying overnight in a camp. How it all will end for them depends only on players' choices, similar to those from Until Dawn. Also, what's cool, in this game many household names, faces and voices are used as character ones, for instance David Arquette, Lance Henriksen or Brenda Song. The initial release date is set for 10th of June 2022. Sniper Elite is known for its different approach to combat, where we play as a sniper using more stealth and distance from enemies, and of course its kill cam. The fifth installment, Sniper Elite 5, will take us to 9044 friends and feature many real-world locations. As a player, our mission is obviously to stop Nazis, which is basically what Sniper Elites are, and as we know, multiplayer will be in this game, featuring competitive 16 players battles or cooperation based on Survive the Wave mode. It's due to launch on the 26th of May 2022. Telltale Games are coming back in the game with the Expanse. The studio has been bankrupt for a while, but now it is again making games. The Expanse is set prior to the events of the sci-fi TV series of the same title. In the game, we are going to impersonate Kamina Drummer, of course from TV series, who is the leader of a scavenging crew that is on the lookout for treasure across the so-called the belt. Basically, it is going to be just like the Walking Dead games from the studio, where the decisions unfold the story. The release date is still unclear, we have no information, but it would be sensible to assume that it will come in 2023. The Forest was a big hit, and End Knight is on the way to create a new one, Sons of the Forest. New enemies, enhanced weather mechanics, and AI or improved survival mechanics. This title is looking gorgeous on its own terms, and that's why the first one was so loved. The survival horror game is aimed to terrify you, but also astonish your eyes. Honestly, it looks very like The Forest on steroids, which is a good thing. The release is expected to come in October 2022. Ark 2. Well, Ark is a very hilarious title. This is a sequel to the original title and will be a survival sandbox similar to the first game. Its biggest advantage is tons of dinosaurs roaming the world, which are tameable and useful for the players. In this installment, we will explore it as a Neanderthal that looks like Van Diesel. No, but really, Van Diesel made his cameo in this game. It seems that they have plunged the courage to make this a character-driven sequel. This game is memed a bit by the community, but honestly it looks promising and I'm kinda hyped for it. There is no definite release date, but surely it will be launched in 2022 as the developers confirmed. Stalker 2 is an FPS survival set in a post-apocalyptic Eastern Europe. The world is filled with wicked anomalies, monsters and places, and also people that are just trying to survive on very demanding lands. Developers confirmed the combat will be extremely tough and diverse for each encounter in this title. Also, what's cool, players' doings will affect the world with the A-Life 2.0 technology simulating a real ecosystem. Basically, we don't know how it will work specifically, but that sounds like a great innovation. However, with the ongoing war in Ukraine, the development of this game has been interrupted. The developers, whose studio is in Kiev, stated that further work on this title has been stopped. The fate of Stalker 2 is in question right now, and we don't know when it will be released. Good old third-person RPG project. Crimson Desert. This game will tell us the story of Kerbal, a continent where people are forced to survive on constantly changing grounds. As players, we will be able to visit a variety of biomes, being on the lookout for warriors that might fight under our banner and help us on our journey. That is what developers actually presented us with. Every person we'll meet is meant to have their own motives and premises for their actions and personality. Although the gameplay trailer stuck many restrained comments because this project looks just too good to be real, it is believed to be released at some stage in 2022. And at the end of our list, God of War Ragnarok. God of War 4 received the Game of the Year award back in the 2018, and the plan for Ragnarok is pretty the same. The journey of a father and his son, Kratos and Atreus, during the end of the world in Norse mythology, Ragnarok. Again, we will be thrown into the open world, fighting with adversities and most importantly, gods from Asgard, like Thor. It doesn't really differ from the God of War 4, but obviously with the new release from Santa Monica Studios, we'll get improved mechanics, graphics, and overall gameplay. This year might also belong to God of War.